Hey guys, Patrick here in post-production, and I want to make a little tweak to my list here before you guys are able to see the entire podcast. So, a little bit of spoiler if you weren't there for the live version. My number 3 was Super Mario Kart. I actually had a bit more time to think about it, and there's one thing that's been pretty important in my life that has been there for quite some time, and that's Pokemon. So it's one of the things that got my wife and me together. There's Pokemon that you'll find in every room in the house. There's Pokemon everywhere. So when I sat back and I thought about it for a little bit, no way in hell is Mario Kart more prevalent in my life than Pokemon. She and I play the games each and every year. We talk about Pokemon. We have stuffies all over the place, like I just said. So I just want to throw that in there really quick and say I am changing everything to Pokemon. Everything Mario Kart to Pokemon. You get what I mean. Enjoy the show. Loading complete. Welcome one and all to the Reset Button. I am Reset Patrick. There is a relation in name between me and the podcast. Welcome to a brand new episode where we are going to talk about some Nintendo favorites. We're going to yell about them maybe. We're going to argue about them. And I'm going to show this Zelda shirt because we know I'm a shill. It's going to be a great episode. Now, before we do anything like that, I mean, it would be okay to hear my opinions, but I think we all know that they would be fairly bland, fairly expected. So that probably wouldn't be that good of an episode. That's why I brought some folks here with me. My goodness, we have co-hosts. First up, I'm going to introduce the guy with the Mario right there, doing the Mario. This is Johnny Chase.
Swing my arms from side to side. Come on, let's try to do the Mario. Yes. There. How y'all doing? We're here to argue about Nintendo. Big surprise.
Of course. Everyone's favorite thing to do. Argue. Grr, I'm so fired up. I'm going to introduce Liz over there. Still Mothwoman.
Crazy energy.
I love the costume, and I just want to say really quick that it's hilarious that the only thing West Virginia is known for throughout the entire world is Mothman. That's it.
Oh, you don't know about the orcs from West Virginia?
The what?
Oh, Patrick, shame on you. Oh,
Shame.
Everyone listening, go look up the orcs from West Virginia. Okay,
this man.
It's a thing.
I guess I need to brush up on my cryptids. I don't. Wow. Well,
I will find it. Okay.
I guess it shows my loyalty to my own state, but guess what? I have plenty of loyalty for Nintendo, and that's what we're going to talk about here while she's looking that up. So,
oh man, this is so old. Might be a search from me, but continue, please.
So Nintendo's been putting out games for well over 40 years at this point. Of course, with their humongous smash hit, Donkey Kong put them on the map, was sued by Universal Pictures, and it's been a wild ride for them ever since. But we have to choose 5 specific franchises that we think pretty much create the Mount Rushmore of Nintendo, if you will. And I don't think we're going to agree. I don't think we're going to agree at all. I think most people are going to probably know what mine are before I even say them. But we'll see. Should I go first?
Yeah, I mean, this was your topic. Yeah, you kick it off there.
I think I should kick it off.
Yeah, because like I thought this was purely your topic. We were just gonna discuss your top 5. This is like, wait, I had homework to do. God,
Oh,
how many kids do I
Patrick,
have?
You're on the
Patrick,
spot.
Johnny, you should know. In your heart of hearts, you'll know your favorite series.
Oh yeah,
Your Nintendo franchises. You'll know them.
oh yeah.
Well, if I had to start, my number 5 would be F-Zero. No, I am kidding. It would not. Not even close.
Wow.
Not even close.
It's okay.
It would
Remember,
be Pikmin.
whatever's not your favorite is someone's favorite.
It would definitely be
You said
Pikmin.
Pikmin?
Yep. Pikmin would be my number 5.
Oh wow.
So Pikmin is going to be on my Nintendo Mount Rushmore. I know it hasn't been the most like sales-wise strong series, but that's not why I'm looking at it at all. I'm looking at it because it took the idea of, you know, a game as simple as that and just transformed it into like this mega franchise at this point. Like the first one had some really cool ideas to it, where it was kind of I can't recall what the genre is. There is a specific like genre name for what Pikmin is, but if it didn't start it, it popularized it, and it was a really cool puzzler to use the 3 different colors the best way possible. I think 2 really built on that and just cranked it up with things like the caves and everything of that nature. 3 is a bit more controversial, I think, because 3...
I don't understand why.
I don't either, but some people really didn't appreciate how it forced you to split into 3 teams often. So you had to strategize way more, especially if you want to complete the game in less days. Otherwise, like, you're going to be on like day 41 or something by the time you finish it, unless you learn how to really strategize. You use all 3 of your leaders to get it done. I thought it was a really good direction, but unfortunately, like I said, it pissed some people off. So they tweaked it a bit more in 4, which I now think is the perfect formula. I really do think it's perfect in 4. So hear me out. I know some people hate Ochi, and to them I say,
so cute.
Yeah, it's just to them I say, get fucked. Ochi can stay.
Quit fucked.
Get fucked. Ochi is good because he acts as a second leader that you can use. He acts as a super buff Pikmin if you need him to. Like, he's like your Swiss Army knife when you're out there. He could do so many different things. Or you could just use him to ride around. It's up to you. The people arguing about what Ochi can do and Ochi being OP, you can limit yourself. It's up to you. You don't have to do those things. That's your choice. But it brought back a lot of favorites, such as the caves. The caves were brought back. Lots more different puzzles to check out. Really cool bosses to fight. Dendori. Dendori is awesome and a great reason to continue playing that game. I'm not going to spoil it, but the only thing that really sucked was the ending. The final boss was not great, and that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil it.
So, Patrick, you thought we were going to be raising fists so quickly, right?
No, I was playing it up.
No, I know. We're not actually going to raise fists, whatever.
Oh, I didn't think anybody was
Pikmin
going to
is-
disagree that much. Not yet.
Oh, no. But Pikmin is in my top 5 Nintendo, absolutely. So I was a deprived child without a GameCube because my brother convinced me I wanted an Xbox, so I got an Xbox that he mostly played. Okay, worst decision of my childhood ever. But I remember seeing Pikmin in the Nintendo Power magazines at my neighbor's house down the street because I didn't have it, he had it. And I was like, Pikmin looks so cool. Like, there was something that was super attractive to it, and like all the adverts and promotions for it during that GameCube, like earlier GameCube era. But I didn't know anyone that played it because I think, like, when this game came out, I think it was way too hard for someone my age to like get the most out of it. Not saying that's
Mhm.
impossible for a kid to play, but that shit's hard. Like, and especially when there's not much similar to it as a child. So it's
Yeah.
probably like within like the child's realm. So it's probably better that I didn't play it when I was younger. But I had played Pikmin 1 and 2 just after high school. I got the Wii versions, which I think are I love the Wii controls on it. And I don't know. I hate being that person because everyone's gonna disagree, but like I feel like the Wii controls are really, really good and intuitive and make a lot of sense. The controller's a lot harder, in my opinion. Um, However, there's other games like the Resident Evil 4 port on the Wii, as an example, I think is great with the Wii remote. So there's a lot of games where I'm like, I think they benefited from the weird gimmicky shit on the Wii in particular. However, I was so diehard with Pikmin 3 that I had to buy the Wii U. We've already kind of discussed this before, but it is such an amazing little world with like the most like I feel like Pikmin is like one of the most human games despite there not being humans in it. And it's super interesting to like read all of their character logs of like everything you accomplished or you didn't accomplish every day. And like just like there's not like a bad moment like aside from like trauma like losing all your Pikmin. Okay, like I don't count that as a bad moment. That's just an experience in the game.
Right.
There's like not a bad moment in like any of these games, and it's literally killing me that I haven't played 4 yet. I just haven't spent that money yet. I really, really want to play it, but everything is so delightful and makes me so happy, or whatever exact emotion you're supposed to feel. And I think that is like a masterpiece in gaming, like in Nintendo's world at least. So that's how I feel about those games. That was not a long story short. That was a long story.
Well,
And the music is so good.
the
Okay.
music is good. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
And-
god, I listen to it all the time. It's so good.
And I think it also does a really good job of bringing in like that original idea of like nature, environment. Like there's violence in the game. Pikmin are dying. You're killing creatures and hauling them off. But it's done in such a way where you're not going to call the game violent or bloody or anything like that. It's
Circle of
nature.
life.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
It's nature at that point. And I think it's really brilliant how they capture and present that in the Pikmin series. I don't think that
feel
gets talked about
there's
enough.
so much poetry. Like this game is super poetic. Like kind of like how I had the angle. Like obviously it's about nature. Like you stated that very eloquently, but I feel like it's so human with all the weird traces of human things that you find and their commentary on it. Like it is such an artistic game in so many different ways that it like the list is infinite. Like it's such an artsy game and it's not trying to be that, I guess. I don't know. Like they're not trying too hard to be super artsy at the same time.
No, I don't think so. I think clearly they're trying to drive the nature idea home, but they don't have to like beat you over the head with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'd put it.
Mm-hmm. It's super emotional in like the best way possible with like every little beat and thing that happens in that game. It's great.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
my...
unfortunately,
Right.
I don't have a leg in this race as I've never played a Pikmin, so
Okay.
spoiler, it's not going to be in my top 5 franchises. But I mean,
What?
to you guys, I've never played. I can't put it in my top
Not
5. I've never played
one?
a game in the series. Not
Oh,
one. No.
one day, Johnny. I feel like I
Yeah.
mean, this is the great thing with like having Johnny here. Like, I feel like Johnny and I are very opposite with a lot of like our just general day-to-day tastes of what we like. So it's like super fun to like blow like I don't know, I feel blown by like the cool things Johnny talks about. I'm like, I never would have thought of that, or I wouldn't have known that if he hadn't brought that up.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like nothing wrong that he hasn't played Pikmin, but I hope sometime soon. You know, it's such a joy. It's
Oh, nothing
I
wrong.
think you would probably like it. But like whenever you got the chance, there's so many games out there.
Exactly. And I think what you're saying, it makes perfect sense. That's why this is the best gaming trio out there. Best podcast gaming trio. Guaranteed. 2024, we're coming. Anyway, we'll move on. Who's number 5 do we have?
Well, I have no particular order, but we'll go with Johnny if you could wing it.
What you got?
Again, my wing at top 5 because I didn't know this is over. I say for my top 5, number 5, my top 5. It's gonna go to Metroid.
A little down
Metroid's
on
so
the
cool.
list. I said it's a little down on the list, but it still made it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for my other 4, I'm just thinking in my head, what has had the most impact. And I mean, if like the way I categorize in my top 5 is what has the most impact, and I mean, it's going to be very predictable, but yeah. So yeah, a lot of them had to cut them off, but the legs and go by the wayside. I will spoil this right now. Kirby is not in my top 5, even though I love the series. There's just 4 more that are just a little bit more influential, a little bit better. But yeah, for Metroid, it's weird. I think I've talked about it before, where my experience with Metroid was in such a reverse order. We played 2 first, and then we played Super, and then we played the OG, and then everything else is just kind of a mismatch. Yeah, it was just due to the fact that Metroid 2 was just something that my cousins had on the Game Boy, and because it's a smaller cartridge, it's something we could trade around and play in short bursts with the save feature. And then just Super Metroid is just the GOAT. It's the GOAT. It perfected it. It's everything that the Metroidvania genre it is official genre now. Some YouTubers classify it as something else there. I was like, cool, but every time I boot up a game that's on Xbox or the Switch, it's this Metroidvania. It's its own genre now.
Yeah.
So funny.
It perfected it, and then Symphony of the Night continued on with it. I think I've played every single Metroid. Except for the Prime 2 and 3. I'm still working towards those.
What?
Other M.
What?
Oh,
other M.
The baby.
My God, the baby. Dude, I told this before. I tried making a stream out of and make a drinking game a stream out of how many times that Samus says the baby every time.
You die.
You die.
So,
So
I feel like I have the anti, the opposite, I don't want to say anti. I have the opposite Johnny effect. So Metroid, not my top 5. Metroid is the cool kids game that I don't feel like I've gotten fully into. And I want to, and I try, and I feel like such a baby because when I play games, I like to really invest myself and pretend it's real life. And it's sometimes fun pretending to be a little stupid playing games because obviously there's so many cliches and tropes that so many stories or plot elements or game elements are so predictable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like such a baby, and I do play I've played through all of Prime with a friend when I was in early college. Literally one of my childhood friends that lived at the bottom of the block. We played Nintendo games forever growing up until we grew up and then separated, and then we came back in high school and college. And we did the whole Prime thing, and I feel like it was so fun to play this with my friend, but all the lore was so in over my head where I'm I don't know. I don't understand what's going on, but these games are super interesting and super cool. But aside from the Prime games, I only play a little bit of the classic Metroid games, and I'm I feel like such a baby. I don't know. I feel like I hype myself up because I like to think it's not a horror game, but I like to think of it like that, and I psych myself out, and then I get stuck, and then I'm oh, I'll get to it eventually.
If you play other M, and then you hear how the actress who does Samus's voice acts when she sees Ridley is bitch, you've killed this thing like 20,000 times. Now is the one you're just like, oh no, Ridley, that's cute.
I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't think I could ever. Like, I don't think I could ever go back to Other M
character
and try and finish it.
development. Like, literally.
Other M, as soon as someone pointed out to me that the title Other M is an anagram for mother, I was just like, okay, fuck this. I'm done. So,
and I hate the fact that in that game you have all of your abilities, but Adam has to tell you when you're allowed to use them. Like, you'll end a lot of just like,
tell me what to do.
Exactly.
I was gonna say we could go on a very political rant.
Top 5, and I'm shitting on Other M, but like the rest of the games
fine.
in the rest of the series
It can be a bad
great.
game sometimes, like in a top 5. It's fine.
A couple years ago, Dread was so great.
I almost picked up Dread, and I'm like, would it be heinous if I made a commitment to try and like play through Dread, but not the other games first?
You'll be missing out on a lot of backstory because Dread is the latest in the series. So, like, if you've played the Prime games, you're like still near the beginning of Samus's journey because it goes Metroid, Prime games to Super, Other M, Fusion, Dread.
Yeah.
I don't know where 4 is gonna end up. We still have to wait for them to show something other than this. Is one of the funny things is like I'm waiting for Race to get out of JPEG hell, Elder Scrolls 6 or Prime 4. Who's gonna get out of the whole logo leak or the logo reveal?
I'm totally get out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's
I
going to
think
end up
Elder
being
Scrolls 6 is still like at least another 3 years before they show anything of that game.
I'll go ahead and confess that Metroid is not on my list either. It's not. One of the major reasons, and this is going to be lame as hell, but sorry folks, it's true. So I was there when Metroid was new. I'm ancient like Johnny is. And back in those days, Metroid on the NES was not good. God, it was miserable if you didn't have the maps and didn't know what was going on. And even if you did have the maps and know what was going on, it was still pretty miserable. It was tough.
Back in my day, we didn't have save states. We had passwords with upper and lower case and symbols, and we liked it. Oh, jeez.
And so, because I didn't like Metroid on NES, when the time came, I did something that some people might consider unforgivable. I skipped Super Metroid because I didn't think I'd like it. I just skipped it entirely.
Oh, cool.
Didn't even try it.
I think that's the one I had the most exposure to, and it's like super cool. Like that's the one I played the most of before giving up on like the 2D ones.
If I didn't think it was gonna break the outline or the format of the podcast, I was gonna leave the call. I was like, I'm not gonna do that too because he probably had to sit there like, well, now you came out and back in, now everything's reversed. God damn it! You click here. I know. I've been on that side of production, so I was like, I wasn't gonna do that to you.
It would have been hilarious.
I should do what Jimbo does and have just something on my soundboard that's just the sound of Discord disconnecting.
I got back into Metroid with Prime. And I thought Prime was really fucking solid. So then I tried 2, I tried 3. So I'm back in. And now I play Super Metroid and I get fucking pissed because I was missing something that good. But original Metroid, why you gotta do that to me? Why you gotta hurt me and make me miss good things? But
yeah. Also, and I put Metroid up in that echelon because of also like the ROM hacking and the randomizer community. Just like going back and replaying that game, everything mixed around, linking that up with Zelda to move items around that, and also the fact that like the mod community is so creative. Like instead of Samus's bounty hunter ship, you could rise up from the Starship Enterprise, or a Lakitu Cloud, or Dracula's Throne, because there's like a lot of Castlevania price for that game now. It's crazy. Also too, and I feel like I want to try and do that ROM hack again. Have you ever seen Super Metroid rotated?
No.
Mm-mm.
So basically, they take the entire map and rotate it 90 degrees. So instead of going left or right, you're going up and down. If instead of going up and down, you're going left or right. So you really need to know how to wall jump and Shine Spark and what suit goes where, because if you don't, you're gonna have a bad time. I made it as far as like being Kraid, and then I was gonna go on my way to Norfair, but then because the world's rotated, the pools of lava are at the bottom, so when you hit down, you have to go through other stuff. It's just
Ouch.
yeah,
That doesn't
messes with your
sound
brain, but that's what I love.
fun. That sounds rough.
Yeah, it is, but I mean, in a sense, it is fun. Like it's something I'm gonna restart that and try it again. But yeah, Metroid, that's number 5.
We'll pass it over to Liz.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna list one. I have a redacted in my top 5.
Oh.
Okay. And I don't think it's gonna be anybody else's top 5, but for a really, really, really long time, for maybe 10 years, in my top 5, I'm calling it a former top 5, which has been replaced. But I would say Punch Out, Mike Tyson's Punch Out in particular, out of all the iterations of Punch Out and sequels and stuff, was in my top 5. I really like Little Mac. The arcade game is super cool and like super unique in my opinion. But also I had the most fondest of memories at SGC, not SJC. No, those are like tech people that I work with. So sorry, I'm used to saying it that SGC. However,
Gaming Convention.
yes. There was a lot of extreme fun memories, and that got me really much more interested in Punch-Out, and I was like, oh shit, these games are so cool, and the characters are so fun and funny. They're such wildly fun games, and I really, really appreciate them. However, as he who shall not be named is no longer the person we thought they were. So I am kicking it out of my top 5, unfortunately. However, because I am a hipster, as you guys might have caught on, I am substituting with fond memories with a Screw Attack friend, which this person shall not be named, but I am going to put Style Savvy in its place, because since all the Mike Tyson fun, I have had so much fun with a particular person who wishes to remain anonymous, playing Style Savvy, hyping up Style Savvy for maybe the close to the same amount of time as I've been into Punch Out. So, yeah, Style Savvy is so good, and Fashion Dreamer has taken its place since the Style Savvy IP is not really much of a thing anymore. So yeah, that's my alternative. That's my little side story about kicking out a recent favorite in my top 5 and replacing it.
Awesome.
Yes.
I've never heard of Style Savvy or seen anything about it, but
okay, it started on the DS, okay? And
okay.
You are a person who runs a boutique, and then you have clients that come in that want different things, and then you like circle out the inventory in your shop, and then you continue to upgrade and build up, and there's cute little stories about you and the community that you're like dolling up, and you can go out to like different areas and interact with people and like get new clients, and you can go get like, your nails done, and you can do your like hair, and like you can do your face makeup, and oh my god, it's so fun. And then all the other sequels, the first one was DS, but then the other ones are on 3DS, and they just like add more quality of life things to the games as they've progressed. And they're so fun. Who doesn't want to run their fashion boutique? They're so fun. And you get to dress people up, and there's like, and then like it's so cool because there's like a way to like, you take your profits and you like legitimately go to like different vendors to source all of your clothing, and you customize your shop even further. So it's like real life fashioning. If you're not like, if it's more like you're a fashion boutique retailer, not necessarily a designer, but it's like, it feels like real life fashion shop management, and it's very fun, and it's meant for like 6-year-old girls.
It's actually like a shop management game is what it sounds like, more than anything. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's super fun. No, but like you have clients, and like everyone has like unique little stories and like character aspects that are like quirky and fun. And it's like a shop management game like you're describing, but like I don't know if you guys knew I like fashion and I like cosplay and things like that. So and again, I'm gonna keep this person anonymous, but it's been such like an internal hype with this particular special friend that it's just become very fond and really fun, and we're continuing our fun with Fashion Dreamer right now. So it's super enjoyable.
Chat's giving a fun fact here. The name of the developer for that game was, let's see, Sin Sophia? They used to be known as the Aki Corporation. Same people who made all of the banging N64 wrestling games. So they are known.
I did not know this.
They are known for being super high quality.
Yes, after we've done all the WCW and then WWF games and then Def Jam, let's just get into fashion.
Are you guys being facetious? Like, are you being funny?
They don't half-ass anything.
With Aki Corporation? Because, like, their games are, like, legitimately really good.
Yeah. They don't half-ass anything.
They did make Fashion Dreamer. Okay, they actually developed Fashion Dreamer, but they're published under Marvelous. Okay, it is literally the same people that made Fashion Dreamer, which we're calling it an unofficial sequel, even though, like, it is. But it's so different. But Fashion Dreamer is so different. But it's kind of like they need to add more shit to this game because it can't just be a $50. Like, so Fashion Dreamer like puts you in like these like there's only 2 like little virtual worlds you can walk around. You can still do your hair, nails, makeup, clothing, etc. But you don't necessarily have a shop front. You can like have rooms that you doll up, no pun intended, and like unlock cool displays and mannequins and other decor and like wallpapers and flooring and music. Like you could, it's kind of like takes the shop aspect of the 4 prior games, but condenses it to like, it's your room. But this game is literally meant to be played online. Like if you play this game offline, there's just stupid NPCs. But like the whole point of the game is like getting social media followers and like leveling up your fashion. But like they have like this insane photo booth thing in the game that you could like do selfies and poses and like dress up and do all these cool actions and have accessories and like be doing things. But then you like make your own fashion label, and like yeah, you could play it offline and still like do a lot. There's like a lot of gacha shit involved to like unlock things that you could make in the game. But the whole thing playing online is that you could dress up other people's characters and accrue points to unlock more stuff to keep building your own personal fashion brand, and it keeps unlocking more and more cool shit and like rare. It's like so cool, but it's like so bound to the internet, which kind of sucks. And they need to add more stuff to the game aside from like you literally dress people up and make clothes. Like there's nothing much more to it than that, but it's so enjoyable.
So it has a heavy social element to it as well.
Oh, extremely. This game would be so sucky if you played it only offline.
I mean, the original at this point, that's probably what would happen with it, unfortunately. It sucks when that happens with games that are really good, because if they put too much of their eggs in the basket of online and that's taken away.
Yeah, and that's gone. Kind of like what Ubisoft's doing with The Crew. They're shutting down the servers in a bit, and that's, even though it's a racing game,
dude,
it requires online.
Yeah, it's going to be dead on
once
arrival.
the online goes off, it's dead. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Moving on, I'll do my number 4 here. I just realized when I was going through all my ones, there's one that's not on this list. I think some people are going to like freak the fuck out, but hey, we'll see. I think it's going to be fun. 4 for me, Super Mario Kart, because I was there at the beginning. I can still remember the commercial like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like mushrooms, banana peels, turtle shells. It was
Love that commercial.
yeah, it was hyped up to be like one of those things when you hear like the monster trucks are coming to town. It was that kind of commercial. But it was for Super Mario Kart. So I really loved the first one. Got into it heavy. Pissed me off because the AI had like their own custom items that they could use on you, but you couldn't do it to them. It's like, the fuck, that sucks. But N64 I thought was a good advancement. Good advancement, but not quite what I was wanting. I don't like the N64 one as much as everyone else. I'm sorry, but I just don't. I thought that the series got super badass and everybody need to play it with Double Dash. That's when I thought it became
They like elevated
good.
it. So like Patrick, I'm on your side in the like, okay, so Mario 64 was mind-boggling when I was a kid, but revisiting it as an adult, I love all the remix courses that they have on 8. That's good. I love it. But playing like the original game is like, it's so not playable, I feel. But Double Dash is so unique and super playable still. And that's a huge difference.
Yeah, I hate to admit it, and especially I remember when JonTron said it, but it's true. Like the original, he was playing it and he was like, I don't really think this is a good game. And looking back, if you compare it to all the other Mario Karts that have come out, yeah, I think it's fair to say that, I suppose. I mean, there's problems with what I was mentioning where the AI is allowed to use shit on you that you can't. There's glitches that you could use and fuck with the game. It was a good concept. It gave you the idea in a package. I think they built on it with the N64 version. Double Dash really just brought out what it could be. Mario Kart Wii, I have gone rounds with a few people I know, and whether that's good or not. I think it's great. I straight up love it. But then, of course, we have the now forever version, Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 never dies.
I think if they had like an ultimate like DLC bundle version where it's not reliant, like if they released Mario Kart 8, I don't know how to describe it, and they had like the definitive version where it's like, okay, we're done with tracks, and had it as like a physical release, I'd be down for that. But like you're saying, it's the forever version. It makes me think of like GTA 5. Until we have 6, that game has been going on so long, and they keep putting shit in
10
it
years.
and keeping it alive, like literally 10 years, And that's kind of the same kind of feeling I get from Mario Kart 8, but with less output than what they've done with GTA 5. And I'd be cool, like, if we started from scratch and had Mario Kart 9 and did that, and had that game be like, Nintendo's got a 10-year plan with this game, I would give them $100 straight up from the start, buying this game, and it's like, okay, just keep updating it for the foreseeable future of the next 10 years.
Here's the one thing about that I think is holding them back, honestly, when it comes to putting out a Mario Kart 9. I don't think they know how to change the game enough to justify more sales. They made some changes to 8 and then made 8 Deluxe, added new courses and everything. But I think the series, while I love it, is they have a problem right now. And that problem is, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Same I feel with Smash Brothers and Ultimate, and just like, I don't think they're ever gonna top this. Honestly, I don't think they're ever gonna top 8 Deluxe, and they're never gonna top Smash Ultimate. This
Probably
could
not.
have to be, it's just like, we're not gonna make another one. Just play this one.
Okay, so
we'll have to go to Liz on the next one, because Mario Kart is actually my number 4.
Boom!
Oh, perfect.
So we'll give on that there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Exactly.
So, here's the thing with Mario Kart. I think the thing for Mario Kart to innovate, and this could like kind of go into Smash too. I believe like the Wii U version of 8, like their version of like battle sucked, right? I don't really play that mode. It's not my favorite. Like, I'm not really into it. I don't want to actually hate my friends, so I don't play it. I think they would need to expand the battles. Like, I know they've corrected it since the initial release, and it's pretty solid as far as I'm aware. but they need to like Diddy Kong race this shit. Okay? Like we need to have like extra cool stuff and update something that's outside of like plain vanilla racing for them to like truly hone what they could do for the next game.
Ooh,
Like
okay.
battle or something similar. They got to do something extra. That's insane.
I like that. So add in the elements like the story elements from Diddy Kong Racing, and then go completely just insane. Do like a Sonic Transformed with this. Do you think that would be enough to rescue it?
Maybe.
I think that could bring a lot of life in, and especially with the multiplayer aspect, obviously. It's going to bring so much life to it.
Yeah, because that's one of the key things I really love about Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. It's just like at any moment you could hit a thing and then, oh, you're a boat. Oh, you're a jet. Oh, you're just back to being a cart. And then like the tracks change. They're on the right track of that too, because like there's, if you had the Mario Kart Tour ones that are in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, the near the end there, the tracks end up changing, so you're not doing the same loop over and over and over again.
And I
so
think
I mean that could be cool.
And I think there's something out there right now that kind of proves that people are a little worn out on the current formula. Have you guys tested or touched at all the new Disney racing game that came out?
A little bit.
Oh, dude, I didn't know about that.
Speedstorm, yeah.
Yeah, Disney Speedstorm. It's very Mario Kart-like. I think it's fun, but it just hasn't taken off because we have Mario Kart. It doesn't do anything all that unique, so everybody goes, yeah.
Yeah, their backup should be is just releasing a new F-Zero. Maybe we could like cleanse our palates of Mario Kart and cry at this other hard game. And then we can like really go back hitting hard with Mario Kart 8 with all the feedback. Mario Kart 9 with all the feedback we've exhibited.
I think that would probably be the best strategy because, like, straight up, right now you can get on, if you sign on to Fortnite right now, the Rocket Racing that they have on there has tens of thousands of people playing right now. And you could go on there and see how many people.
What?
And that's because
what
it's
if they
unique.
had like a crossover? Okay, this is like Smash Brothers but racing instead. Or like, I don't know, motor vehicles. If they had like a Mario Kart, F-Zero, Star Fox, some sort of combo of like those games to make something new, that would be interesting. Like think about it. Like think about the worlds of vehicles colliding together. I don't know. That's a little bit of a crazy one.
I think that might be the end goal for Epic because they're starting to get licensed cars in there. Like, I mean, they have to work on the pricing because I am not paying $35 for a Lamborghini. I don't care if I can play it in Fortnite Battle Royale and then this rocket racing game. That's way too much money.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, it's something that I mean, before they bought Psyonix and Rocket League, Rocket League was doing that by getting, like you got the DeLorean, Ecto 1, the Ghostbusters. I'm just going off the stuff I've gotten for Rocket League in the past. So like, various Batmobiles and stuff like that. I missed out because they had Lightning McQueen in there. I said, oh, that would have been cute to have. And like his face changes when you like pull on the gas and all that. I was like, that would have been cool. But that's something that like Epic could probably do in the future there. As far as Nintendo goes, probably not, because I think in like the leaked documents when they were being sued by or they were taking Apple to court over the whole exclusivity over like microtransactions and all that, or they're taking their cut of their money for microtransactions. It's leading the document that like they've been after Nintendo for a very long time to put any character they could into Fortnite. So like Samus, Link. You can get Mario. I think you can get Mario and Samus cars in Rocket League, but only on the Switch. And that's kind of the deal they ran with Psyonix, is that you could have them, but if you're cross-playing and playing someone on PC or Xbox or PlayStation, they can't see those cars. Which kind of defeats the purpose.
It's like they did like a Soul Calibur on this one. Kind of.
Yeah.
But then again, with Soul Calibur, they ended up, well, I mean, as far as like Soul Calibur 4 goes, they ended up putting those characters on both systems anyway.
No, before like Soul Calibur 2, like we got
Soul Calibur 2, yeah. Well,
got the attacking
Soul
guy.
Calibur 2 online and Soul Calibur 2 online, I think they put Spawn and Hayachi together. But Link, nope, that's on GameCube.
Nintendo has a history of doing things like that. Like, there's a special world that you can play, a preview world only in the Nintendo version, the Switch version of Minecraft.
Yes, yes.
Like, you have to specifically have that version to play that pre-built world, or you can't have it. So yeah, they're pretty notorious for doing stuff like that. But
yeah,
we
I mean,
will.
they gotta be protective of their IP. I mean, look what they did when they let Philips make games for them.
Can't wait to bomb some Zodongos. And with that, we'll pass it to Liz.
Number 3.
Yeah. What's your number 4?
Or
4.
4. We're still at 4 because
no,
Patrick and I both picked Mario Kart.
You guys had you guys both had your number 3. Sorry, I thought we were number 4s.
Number
Sorry.
4s. Yeah.
Again, I don't think this is going to be on your guys' list. Again, I'm not in any particular order because it's too hard picking a favorite child. I'm going to say Fire Emblem would be one of my next ones.
Oh, good choice. That's a good choice.
So, Fire Emblem, it was also a very inaccessible game for me to play growing up. Especially, they didn't release them very clearly or very well. Or there's just too many issues with Fire Emblem. And also with another friend, they literally told me like every fucking thing about Fire Emblem and like purposely like found like translations and would give me like the whole breakdown in every single story and character right towards the end of high school and early college. And then a little bit shortly after that time, Awakening revived everything. And so because of my friend that hyped up Fire Emblem, and again, playing Smash Brothers and like not knowing what the fuck Fire Emblem was, it's like, who are these people with swords? Like, it was so weird as a kid seeing these characters and they just like literally made no sense, right? Until I got the lowdown, as a teenager at one point. But Awakening, I was an employee at GameStop when this came out. Myself and one other like kid that orders every single Nintendo game, not even like the weird JRPG kids that like buy the Obscuro stuff that is impossible to find later because I genuinely want to play it right away. There was only 2 pre-orders, myself and the kid that buys every Nintendo game. And oh my god, the rush of so many people for legitimately over 6 months straight were trying to get Awakening. And it was so hard and so impossible to get. And I was like, yeah, I'm excited for Fire Emblem. Let's do it. And I am so enchanted. No pun intended. No jokes intended. The characters are so fun. I really like strategy games, which is like why we got Pikmin also in my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
And Fashion Dreamer is like the real fucking wild card of the bunch, or Style Savvy, whatever. Fire Emblem, I guess it's more of like a 3 because I've already listed off 2 more, but they're just so fun. And I don't know, I get like super into these games and I always like restart maps because I'm like, I fucked something up. And like, like they're so frustrating and super like, again, no pun intended, engaging. And there's so many waifus and so many husbandos, and it's just like perfect cosplay fodder on top of the games being like genuinely really fun. And like the stories are stupid, I would say, but like they're just so enjoyable and there's so many cinnamon rolls, and I feel like it like touches like the weird anime shit that makes me happy combined with like you gotta really think to do this game well at the same time.
Now, I'm going to admit, I've unfortunately never had a chance to play any of the Fire Emblem games, but I understand what they're like. Because some people have told me that they're somewhat similar to Ogre Battle, is what I've been told.
Yeah.
And I played...
if you like that, play them.
Yeah, I played Ogre Battle and Ogre Battle 64. So, yeah, I know the map strategy and moving around and picking battles
Final
and everything.
Fantasy Tactics, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's all
absolutely.
the same sort of shit. They're so fun and there's so many, and like honestly, you could just like blindfold yourself and throw the dart at the dartboard and start with almost any and you're fine. Like you're fine. Just do it. Just pick one that looks interesting and go for it.
So kind of like Final Fantasy, they all have their own story.
There's like some that kind of like weave together. It's a lot of like, it's been hundreds of years. See, here's the fucking thing with the stories. They're so stupid, and like the stories are not very good. It's all about the waifus, okay?
Oh, I see.
It's about the character stories, not the broad story. But the big thing is like the finale in every game is basically killing the big ass dragon. And dragons are so rare in most fantasy stories that it's gonna take 1,000 years for the next dragon. Like that narrative. It's
Okay.
kind of like a lot of same worlds, but hundreds or generations apart. Like, there's not too many that are like, I guess there's a lot of like I don't even care about the stories. Like, there are like things that kind of connect together, and there's like the same like so many places that they take, like settings that they take place in, but it like whatever, just pick a game, go for it. You're there for like the strategy and like the hot dudes and babes and like the engaging stories of the characters. That I mean, there's some really bad stories, but there's some fun stuff with the characters. Like, it's all about like who you're playing with and recruiting and the emotion. If you play it right, if you have death mode on in the newer games, like the old games, like people die automatically, there's no choice to turn it off. But like, it is so fucking devastating if you like letting anyone die, like having that mode on or playing an old one. It is such like it's a whole thing that you're like, fuck this, I gotta reload and go back 3 levels and like redo this shit.
If they're dead, they're dead.
Yeah, like they're dead. Like, that's the whole point. But with the newer ones, they make it soft for like, yeah, they'll just revive next battle. Like, it's so much more emotional when you play it that way, by choice or not. Yeah. Like, permanent death. They do not come back if they die in battle. It's like Nuzlocke with like strategy game.
It's like Pokemon. Are we moving on to our number 3s, or do you have anything to add, Johnny?
No, I've never played a Fire Emblem myself. That's something I actually like my wife is like really into the series. We have a few of them on the go, but it's just one of those times. It's like not enough hours in the day and too much other stuff going on to commit to a playthrough. But I think it's going to be coming this year for Melody, because we do have like we ended up getting they had that. It's like, oh, it's the anniversary, we're gonna translate the NES version and put it on the store. Oh, but only for like 3 months, so buy it now.
I do have the physical. Okay, so like one of my best friends did get me the physical. So I'm gonna be like sound like such a fucking loser, but I really like the original Fire Emblem because it does like Shadow Dragon feels hard, but like it's not hard in a totally unfair way where it's like, oh, you do really have to think, and the other games have so many more options to play the game. And like Martha's so cute, and like she like, okay, like there's so many characters that are so good in the original, but like a friend did like explicitly hunt down and get me the collector's edition of like Shadow Dragon, where it's like a box and it has like a fake NES card. It's like a pretty like plastic acrylic NES cartridge, and it's so cool. And the art is so 90s. It's so cool. I'm very happy that I have it. I love it.
All right, I'll move on to number 3. Liz, I think this will make you happy. I think this is hopefully make your night. It could be higher, but there's better ones. But I got to talk about Animal Crossing, because it's just... What can I say about Animal Crossing? Not only is it just a good series, but it has a very deep personal connection for me, just like Pikmin does. And I guess I could say with that, there's only 2 video game franchises that my mother has ever cared about, never really touched. Like, the whole time I was growing up, she never really cared about video games. And then 2 little games came along on the GameCube that changed everything. Pikmin and Animal Crossing. And now every time I think of the series, no matter which one it is, I can't help but think of my mom. Half the time, if people are seeing, like, if I'm doing game days or something and you see the name Shelly appear playing Animal Crossing, that's my mom. So, yeah.
Cute.
Cute. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, so
I
she's
play with
playing
my
it all the
friend's
time.
mom. So that Metroid Prime friend, I like referenced them numerous times. Like one of my childhood friends. Like I literally play Animal Crossing with his mom, and still like when the new one came out, she's like, "Oh yeah, we had fun playing the 3DS one. Can we like play the Switch one?" And I'm like, "Yes." So that was really fun when she was on that. Just kind of funny.
I know that I've played every single like Animal Crossing anything that's come out. I've played it. I played City Folk, which that's the Wii one, right? I'm gonna get them a little mixed up here.
City Folk.
No, the DS
Oh,
one.
Is that the
that's
DS
the
one?
DS one. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have the Wii
which
Animal
one.
Crossing on
which
the
we
Wii
did
Right.
get it complete in
was.
box in like the last couple years for like
Ooh.
15 or 20 bucks. I never played that because I was late to the DS era, and like Animal Crossing is literally, again, bad childhood decision, wanting wanting an Xbox, not a GameCube. A couple of my friends would graciously allow me to have one house in their town, right? And like one of my best friends from like ages 10, 11, 12 in that like age range, like I would literally have sleepovers and sleep over at her house for like numerous days straight. Like my mom would call and be like, "Are you coming home soon? It's been a week." And like I live 2 blocks away. It's like a 5-minute walk. And she's like, "I haven't seen you in like a week." And I would literally just be playing Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon, It's a Wonderful Life with this friend. Like, and Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy player. Tactics Advance, excuse me. But like Animal Crossing, I literally made my real life when I was like a tween. And just I've spiraled. I didn't play the Wii one because I heard it was kind of bad, but man, it felt like real life, and I used it as an escape in college in my adulthood. Like, like I had like so many hours in Animal Crossing, like New Leaf and New Horizons in particular, because I was an adult and I finally owned the games. But like I don't have like those crazy. Do you guys ever see like crazy hardcore islands? I'm not that person. Like I do like to do things that are kind of extra, but I'm not wild and insane making insane metropolises. I feel like they're kind of like little role play games for me, and it's so enjoyable.
My mom kind of went that direction with New Leaf because I was playing it here and there for the most part. I mean, I was going to college and everything, and I was having good fun with it. But I remember my mom was like, "Oh, do you have the shopping center that has 3 floors?" I'm like, "No, mom, I have no idea how to do that." And she was showing me her 3DS. I did it. My God, I don't even know how long you have to play to get that done. The quality of life changes in that game. It's almost like night and day if you were to play the GameCube version now, because I think if people were just now getting into it and you had to do like back in the day where you would dig up a fossil and then have to mail it off and wait till the next day. Or, I mean, you could always cheat and just move the system up a day if you wanted to just quit, go all the way back, do that. It's not nearly as fast as doing it on the Switch, but that was the way the game was at the beginning. It was rough, but still
Hey,
good.
honestly, it's like a real life simulation. Like, hey, I'm gonna go get this thing assessed. It's not gonna be instant. Like, think about it. More real life shit. There's weights in real life. Okay.
And imagine the animals had way more personality back in the older
Oh my
games.
god, I missed them. But like they did like legitimately upset us when we were younger, but it was funny. I don't know. Like I guess like it was shocking at first, but then as we got a little bit older, like closer to like being a teenager, we reveled in them. And like Rossetti is so crazy. I don't know. So
Resetting, of
fun.
course. How could I forget the guy we literally named the awards after? At least I think that's what was going on in Tanner's mind. Tanner, if you could magically
Perfect.
appear and confirm that, please. I'm pretty sure that's what he had in mind when he named it that. But yeah, we don't even have Resetti anymore. Like, he's not in the new game at all, is he? They told us that he would have a different
so
job.
stupid. It makes no sense. It's like he's such a classic character. It's really upsetting.
Yeah, they said he'd have a different job, and they lied. He's been gone forever now.
I know.
Yeah. This is another one. Like we this is why I love this when we have like such varying opinions. I like Animal Crossing has never been on my radar. I've never played it. I've seen people play it, especially the GameCube, and I was intrigued to at least do like a special challenge where like I was gonna get every single NES game dug up and put into a house. Oh well, with the exception of two, because they're only attainable through Game Shark now, which was Mario Brothers and Legend of Zelda.
Oh yeah, you could also treat the
I
game
wonder
as
if
an
they
emulator.
wasn't there like, did they ever find out how they were going to implement that? Like, was it going to be like a giveaway, or like was it an e-reader that you had to scan? I can't remember what the process was. Was that because like the games are there, but there's no feasible way of getting them without Game Shark?
There was never like full knowledge to how that was going to be done because they didn't implement it. There was the belief that it was going to be handled one of two ways: through the e-reader that you have for GameCube, or they would have like special save cards that they would give you.
Okay.
That you could boot up on your machine.
Okay. Like by like going to like a GameStop and starting your memory card into a retail GameCube and just read it and put it on there.
Right, because if you remember back in the day with the Famicom disk system, they did things very similar to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was the prediction. No one has ever found anything concrete to say whether that's true or not. And at this point, I don't think we will. Unless, Did You Know Gaming, if you can help us out.
They're the best.
Because that's the most I've heard is through Did You Know Gaming. So guys, like, if for some reason you stumble across this podcast, we'd love to know. Help us out.
Are we on 3 or 2 now?
We are on 3. Go ahead.
Oh wait, okay, yeah. So my third, this is kind of a cheat because there's multiple franchises involved in this. I think you already know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3, Smash Brothers.
I'm
gonna lump in the entire series for this because, when this game came out, like I was fresh out of high school, going to college, and just the amount of hype that you would get from just playing a match, and then it just kept getting better from the 64 to Melee to Brawl. Yes, I said Brawl is good. I don't care if you don't like the random tripping. I don't play competitive. I don't care. And then Smash 4, like Smash 4 is where it started to like get crazy because like not only were they starting to like incorporate Nintendo franchises, give you characters there, but then they're also starting to dip their toes and like, well, what if we got characters that weren't necessarily Nintendo, that they've been on Nintendo consoles, but like all these guest characters. This is where like guest characters really started to flourish,
right?
We got because it was being co-developed by Bandai Namco. We had Pac-Man in there, and like one of my favorite reveals and my favorite reactions of all times is them adding Cloud into Smash and watching Maximilian Dood just lose his mind. Like freaking out. It's just like, there's a mid-card stage, you can do summons. And then after that, it was just like, okay, let's keep watching every single subsequent react after that. And then adding in Ryu. And like Ultimate was like, is just like the pinnacle of that because it's just, it had everyone from every previous Smash game, and then it just became like, okay, it's open season, anyone could be in here. Like fucking Sephiroth's in it, Sora, Kazue, Terry Bogard. Like it's such a history of video games. The whole lot of these characters necessarily had to be in a Nintendo game, and it's always good fun just to boot it up and just and just to play it. Like I can't explain it. Like it's also like for the previous games too. It's such a good history of Nintendo too because it introduced you to franchises that you may have not have heard of, like with Melee, adding in the Fire Emblem characters. Unless you were really into getting magazines from Japan or importing, you didn't know what Fire Emblem was. It's like, who's this Marth? Who's Roy? And that I feel got people more interested in these series. They're like, well, wait, why did this never come out? And Nintendo's like, "Oh, do you want it? Okay, maybe we'll make a new one and bring it out."
It also did a good job of reminding people about franchises that maybe they didn't play back in the day, like Ice Climber.
Yeah. F-Zero, Captain Falcon. I think a lot of people kind of associate Captain Falcon as being a Smash character than being that guy from F-Zero.
It's hilarious. Also, you broke my heart a little bit, just a little bit, because one of the big reveals from outside of Nintendo that you didn't mention was Mega Man, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
because they revealed
that
everybody.
Yeah, that was the Smash 4. Like that was the initial trailer. Like they probably. Oh yeah, like
yeah, because you saw.
I wanna, like,
go ahead.
No, like I said, that was another good Max reaction. It was him and Simmons watching that. He's just like back in the chair. Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
It was a big series for me. Not that I was like, I'm not super competitive in Smash. I'm actually quite garbage. I think some of you guys have watched Game Days enough to know that, right? But
yeah,
it's always fun for me to play. I've always enjoyed it. I like Smash 4 the most because that is when Yoshi was badass. Like, Yoshi's up air was fucking devastating in that game, and then they nerfed it. So, oh well. But even if I'm terrible at the game, it's always been a good time. I think the mode that showed, like, the years the characters came out and everything was in the 3DS version of Smash 4. And not the Wii U version. I'd have to look it up to remember. I think that's right.
It's been God. I think it's been like 5 years since I booted up the 3DS version of Smash.
Oh my god,
and
that was so wild when that came out. Again, especially working it and seeing everyone's opinions and who's gonna play and how they're gonna play. It was so crazy and mind blowing at that time with both releases.
It was just a big celebration of video games. That's the part I love the most. Versus one game I like, and it was chasing the coattails of that series, but I understand that it's not that great, but okay. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
I liked it.
That was a solid game. That was a good game.
I'm shocked to hear other people say that.
Well, I'm a PlayStation bitch. I love PlayStation.
Yeah. A lot of people
so
are like, no.
Great.
They'll turn their nose up at that game, but honestly, I was at an SGC and played it with some friends there, and I was like, okay, I need a PS3.
So here's the thing, like, you guys sing your praises with Smash, and like, obviously it's great for its reason, right? But like, I'm just so like, I just can't do Smash, and I don't know. I feel like I was like defective as a child playing the N64 version. Because I'd be like hanging out with some boys, and it's just like all they wanted to do for like 6 hours straight. And I was like, okay, like playing this a little bit's fine, and I don't own it. So I just don't know exactly what I'm doing. It was very hard to play. But then Melee was really cool, and I don't know, I really liked playing as like Zelda and Sheik, and like I thought that was like mind blowing in that respect. But I keep having this roadblock problem that Smash overstays its welcome, at least in my social circles, and that's why I have such a distaste for it, where it's like, okay, couple of rounds, it's good, that's fine, whatever. But I'm so fatigued, like, going to like parties literally since I was a child all the way through college, of like, I can't just sit and play the same game and get the same teehee amusement out of it for hours straight. So I feel like it's great in bite-sized chunks, and I'm never going to intentionally buy it or get it on my own, like full price or at a more than $20 kind of vibe. So I think it has its place, but I'm just so tired of it beyond like just a couple of matches, and that's, I think, where my problem is with my Smash hate.
Oh, I can see that.
I mean, like,
yeah, go ahead.
It's not for everyone. I actually just going through the game days because I was going through, because we did a week of Smash on the YouTube where we were playing. Well, we kicked it off with Smash Ultimate, but then we played like the other Smash games. And do you remember actually, Reset, I don't think you were there. I think you just played All Stars. Yeah. But man, like
Oh,
I love how it sprawled off, like the platform fighting genre just spurred off, because there's like two games that were not released outside Japan. There was Battle Station DON, which was like a Shonen Jump one, so like Dragon Ball characters, Naruto, uh God, I'm forgetting the other ones already. One Piece. And then there's the one from Konami, the DreamMix TV, where it was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play as Master Higgins from Adventure Island, and I'm gonna fight Solid Snake. There's Optimus Prime. Like that one was a crazy one too. But I love how
but like at that
Smash
point, they're
broke
just
that
getting wacky.
genre.
I
Yeah,
think if like Smash Brothers had like a way more like, of course we got Master Hand and like all these other things. I think if they had like a much more, again, and I'm not expecting this out of like a fighting game, party game, whatever in between, whatever the heck you want to call Smash. I think if they had like a much more engaging like mission mode, which they did on earlier versions of the game, as far as I'm aware, like having cool challenges and stuff. Like I
yeah,
remember, I think it was Melee that had like a bunch of really cool challenge and platforming courses that I really enjoyed. That was
yeah.
really
The
cool.
adventure mode.
Yeah, I could play that. But I think, like, I don't know if you guys could tell with reoccurring themes, with a lot of the stuff that I say, I'm like super into like characters and like world building and environments and music. Like basically everything that's like not Smash's highlight. Not saying that they don't have these things, but it's not the highlight of the game, which is why I'm like, okay, cool, like a couple of rounds, we're good. And it's the same thing with Mario Kart 2, where it's like I always want to play Mario Kart when I have a gathering, but past like 2 or 3 like full-blown cups, I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of done with this. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I have a limited capacity of like these crowd games that I just like, it's not fun for me to play the same thing constantly. And I think that's my problem with these, unless they have a lot more engagement that appeal. I'm not trying to like say Smash is bad, like, but you guys see like why that does not connect with me.
No, certainly can. Certainly can. I think like
Yeah, well, I think-
the closest that it would have gotten for what you were wanting was Subspace Emissary in Brawl. I mean, that seems to be
Yeah, I don't remember.
yeah, because that was a full-on like single-player adventure, and then
Right.
they had World of Light and Ultimate. They didn't even have any. They didn't. I don't think they had anything in Smash 4. I think it was just like a certain ladder, and then you had like that little wispy. Like I can't even remember.
No, they
it now.
didn't. World of Light in Ultimate is not even like, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. But we'll go ahead
Even
and
the story could
Oh,
be
go ahead.
ridiculous, but yeah, even if they had like a silly, ridiculous, like they need to have like a hyperbolic person write a Smash story with the culmination of how we have so many different crazy IPs and characters together, like some ridiculous writer or like lead on the team. I feel like I would totally be into that if they had like a story mode but made it fucking crazy off the rails with explanations and like the scenarios all these characters from different series have to like get through or fight through or solve, and having like other mini games and like platforming in between. I feel like that'd be really, really cool and super attractive to me.
We'll pass it on to
Cool.
you, Liz.
I'm at my
number
number
3.
1, so you have to fill in because I'm a little shuffled out of order. I already listed off 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Um,
okay, all right.
Wow. I was going to go ahead and just say my number 2 and 1 because we are getting a little long in the tooth of this episode,
Yeah,
and everybody
it.
has to sleep. So
Yep.
I'm gonna break some
What'd
hearts
you
here
got?
when I say my number 2 and 1. Number 2, I mean, I'm gonna refer to the shirt. Legend of Zelda.
That's my number 2 too.
Oh
No, it's not your favorite. It's not your favorite.
Yep.
Oh,
That's my
nice.
number 2 too.
And the best I can say about it is from the very first iteration all the way through, the only one I could say I really don't like all that much is Zelda 2. And then I'm not too wild about the newer games because I don't feel like they're Zelda games, but I get it. To each their own. I'm not here to start wars. And I'll just say my number 1 Super Mario Brothers.
Same here.
Super Mario
You
Brothers.
gotta
Oh
go.
my
You gotta go with the
gosh.
franchise player.
You gotta
You guys
go.
are so
The franchise.
Gotta
We're
go with
so
your
unpredictable.
MVP. But that
Okay,
means
so my number one. Let me bounce off of you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have like any guess, but I feel like it's the antithesis of what you just said for your number one. We're gonna go
no
with
guess.
Donkey Kong, with country in particular.
Okay.
Oh,
You guys like
That's fair.
literally don't know. I just like think about Donkey Kong Country and I just like cry on command because I love it so much. You don't even know. So, yeah, I'm putting Donkey Kong as my number one while you guys have Mario. It seems a little awkward because,
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
no, I actually remember you bringing this up before on the podcast about your love for Donkey Kong Country and how much it means to you. And it's
I'm
a great
such
series.
a fucking dork. Like they're so like okay, so like I feel like I'm not trying to be contrarian, you guys. Zelda is so good. And like we've all discussed Zelda, like I don't want to say Zelda has no like honestly, I give Zelda so much credit to my current tastes, but my current tastes have not been Zelda since about Twilight Princess. But they're still magnificent. Like there's so much stuff in Zelda I like think about and cry because I love it so much. Like, do you guys like think about things that like make you feel so warm and fuzzy inside, right? Like
Of course.
that's like the vibes I get is like with Mario and Zelda. Like they're like so special and so precious, like locked into your heart, and like they're so good, right? But I just feel so like frazzled after a point with Zelda where it's just not my favorite anymore. But I fucking love it, okay? But a lot of the themes with all these other things that I consider my favorites, it's like there's so many things I discovered as an adult that remain concurrent with my interests, but when I hear about a new Mario game, I don't get necessarily excited or hyped for it. But once I like playing Mario Odyssey blew my peanut brain. That game was so good. And I know once I get Mario Wonder, like that game is going to shake me. I'm like so resistant. I'm dragging my heels spending like $50, $60 on this game. But I know when I play Wonder, I'm going to be like tearing up by the time like the credits roll. And I know I'm going to love it, you know?
You will love it.
Like, I'm just like trying to say like I'm not trying to be contrarian with all my takes, I guess. Like
No.
I don't know, but
think
like
there's
Mario
anything
is so
wrong
good.
with Donkey Kong as a choice. Donkey Kong Country
Dude,
is great.
so obsessed.
The original run with it was amazing. Donkey Kong Country 64 is something that people still talk about to this day. And then when Donkey Kong Country Returns happened, holy shit.
And then like Tropical Freeze is so like these games are
Freeze is
so
pretty
good.
Yeah.
So I think as like a roundabout package, like I think it's a lot of stuff that I've continued liking in my adulthood, but I would be such a liar if I didn't say Mario or Zelda were such an impact on me before age 10. Like insane, life-changing. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, I don't care about these games. No, they're phenomenal. But I guess with my growing tastes and continued tastes, it's everything else that I had obviously listed off.
Yeah.
Well, I like your choice, just so you know. I really do like your number one. Tropical Freeze is what made me buy a Wii U. Nothing else. I saw the commercial and what was going on with Tropical Freeze, and like I love Donkey Kong Country Returns. I gotta have this, and bought a Wii U right then and there just to play it.
Dude, and like the Return is so like okay. So like the Tikis are kind of stupid. I miss the Kremlings, like whatever. Okay, that's like my only critique, right? But the Tikis are so cool. Like that whole like vibe is so cool in its own way. But like the sunset level, like these games get so like I think a lot of like I have a lot of emotion tied up with like why I picked like my top 5 for the most part. It's a lot of like it continues making me feel good as they release new stuff. But like the music, the levels, the designs, color is like super important to me in terms of like like it's like super emotional for me. But like I do think of like again Mario Odyssey is such a gem. Like Okay.
How did you feel?
Like that game is sick as
I have
shit.
a question
That's
for
like
you.
one of the best things on the Switch ever.
I have a question for you. How did you feel
Yes.
the first time when you were playing through Tropical Freeze and you heard the remix of Aquatic Ambience?
Oh, I love it. No,
Yeah. In terms of emotion with music,
Yeah.
just oh my god, it hit. Because I think I've mentioned this on this podcast before. At my local branch, I was the junior store champion for Donkey Kong Country in the World Game Championship too. So yeah, I knew my Donkey Kong Country, and I knew that song like the back of my hand. And so to hear them remix it and just remaster it like that, it brought me back. That quick.
But
brought me
like,
back.
I don't know, but like I feel like I'm feeling very positive with Mario though, because I felt like Odyssey blew me away, but I fell off for like aside from like Mario Kart or like other spin-off games, like I feel like I have like a restored faith in humanity that like Mario, like 2D Mario in particular, is gonna be good again. Like despite not playing Wonder, I'm like, okay, they're shaking up the formula and doing something different. So it's definitely like piqued my interest with like 2D in particular. But like, I don't know. You guys need to tell me get Ushi Gushy on like Zelda and Mario for me for like a minute here, please. Please get Ushi Gushy because I'm doing too much gush.
Zelda is so important to me as a franchise and as just I don't know, a way of life since video games are so important to me that once I strongly considered tattooing the Triforce on my hand, I had to be talked out of it.
Wow.
And I'm really glad I was talked out of it. But at one point I thought this is the perfect idea. This has to happen. This is going to happen. And people are like, no, don't do that. That's not a good idea. Mario,
not really good to tattoo logos on you because logo could change or or a company's stance or a game stance could change and you're just like, well, now this is permanently on here
forever and ever.
Oh no.
My I had a special 3DS pouch for my 3DS XL that was Zelda, and it also had like a map of Hyrule that you could stick on the front of it. I think it was supposed to be like an erase cloth, but you could stick it on there. We don't like to mention him these days because he went a little psycho, but Tommy Tallarico signed that for me.
He's so crazy.
So that was nice for a little bit. And then Tommy went insane. But Mario Odyssey is still I'm gonna say it, and people can yell at me if they want. It's my favorite 3D Mario. I know people
Bless your soul.
Yeah.
Oh.
People would say, what about Galaxy? What about Galaxy 2? They're both great.
Sure.
Oh
my god.
64, sure.
Oh, Galaxy's
all of those.
So good. But yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Odyssey's better.
Odyssey. I love it. Especially I'm gonna say the spoiler, it's a 6-year-old game. When you're able to take over Bowser at the end, great.
Yeah.
Because I love Bowser. Like, that's my guy. And you got the chance to play him and do that for just one time. This is it. It was so good.
And then also, too, I did just release my Mayor Pauline cosplay in the last couple weeks.
Check it
Never
out.
thought I'd cosplay anything outside of like maybe Peach or Rosalie with Mario, but like dolled up like jazz singer, big band singer Pauline is like such a queen. Oh my god, she's the best.
What were you gonna say, Johnny?
Oh, I was gonna say I love the tune at the end of that final level when you're Bowser. For some reason, it gives off Sonic vibes, and I don't know why. But like, if you listen to that song, and just have like a Sonic ring sound go off every now and then, you swear you're playing Sonic.
That's funny.
It's blasphemy, but it's funny. Like, how dare you? It's like, oh, come on, Mario and Sonic compete at the Olympics. So it's
Yeah,
fun.
they hang out. They're buds now. They like to compete at the Olympics. By the way, just a random, really silly fun fact. Did you know that the second Wii U Sonic and Mario at the Olympics game is going for over $60 for whatever reason?
No, Those games are so bad.
I don't
The
know why.
2016 one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like a short run or something, and it's not on digital, so yeah, it's pretty rare.
Just bizarre. Because I remember I had one on Wii, and I thought it was pretty fun for the most part. So I was like, well, let's look at the other ones.
Yeah.
They went fucking crazy. But I'm getting long-winded here. I think unless we have anything else to say to everybody, I think we can wrap it up tonight.
I mean, I don't really need to gush over Zelda and Mario. They the games kind of speak for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I gush enough. This is my Zelda Christmas shirt I wear it every year. I mean, because that's really all the Christmas I have in me. I have Zelda Christmas.
Yeah.
So everybody,
my wife actually picked me up Breath of the Wild. The other Breath or Tears, I can't tell. I have to go check the box, but she got me the new World of Nintendo link that's based on Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So that's gonna go up with the other Zelda figs and my Think Geek Ocarina, which I really wish they would program all the songs on there, because I'm trying to play like the longer ones and they're not on there. It's just basically like the ones that have 6 notes on them.
I wonder
pretty
if I
cool.
can find this.
Oh, they're venturing off.
Oh, I can't find it right now. Damn it. Because I was talking about Christmas specials and everything like that. Somewhere in that closet is a copy of the Mario Brothers Christmas special from the Super Show, still in shrink wrap. VHS.
Shut up.
So that's what I was going to say. I hope everybody had a great holiday season. Thank you all for coming out to the Reset Button and hanging out with us. We'll see you next time. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode of The Reset Button. If you like the podcast, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be updated whenever there's a new episode or various clips that we produce. We appreciate all your support.